Okay, so looking at 46, 47, and 48, the directions are to solve the equation. And these three here are really easy, especially after all the hard work that we just went through trying to factor all of the previous polynomials. These are going to be like a breath of fresh air. So let's go ahead and take a look. You'll notice that each of these three, 46, 47, and 48, were given now equations, right? Not just expressions. Expressions don't have equal signs. Equations do have equal signs. And you'll also notice that each equation we've been given is set equal to 0. And in addition to being set to 0, they're already in factored form for us, aren't they? Which is exactly what we were doing. In the previous, 45 questions or so, we were given a polynomial and asked to factor it, meaning asked to put it into this form, into its, the parenthetical factors. Well, now we've already had the work done for us, so what we're going to do now for each of these is take each factor and set it independently equal to 0 and then solve. All right, and that'll make a little more sense, I think, when we go through this first example. So we've been given x minus 2, x plus 3 equals 0. It's set to 0, and it's already been factored, so take each of these factors and set each factor independently equal to 0 and solve. So x plus 3 equals 0. And now just solve for x. So how would we solve for x here? We'd add 2 to both sides. So x equals 2. And here we'll subtract 3 from both sides. So x equals negative 3. And there you have it. Number 46. We solved the equation. All right, let's look at 47. We've been given 9y plus 29, and then the quantity 7y plus 22. Again, equals 0, already in factored form for us. So when it's in factored form like this and set equal to 0, just take each of your factors and independently set each factor equal to 0 and solve for the variable. All right, so here on the left, we want to solve for y, so we'll subtract 29 from both sides. That leaves us with 9y equals negative 29. Divide by 9, so y equals, negative 29 over 9. And here on the right, we'll subtract 22. That leaves us with 7y equals negative 22. Lastly, divide by 7, so y equals negative 22 over 7. And there you have it, number 47. We solved the equation. So y equals negative 29 over 9, and y equals negative 22 over 7. All right, lastly here, number 48, we were given the quantity x plus 4, quantity x minus 7, quantity x minus 17. Each of these factors, the equation is set to 0, so now let's go ahead and set each factor independently to 0. So x plus 4 equals 0, x minus 7 equals 0, and now x minus 17 equals 0. So for solving for x, we'll subtract 4 from both sides, so x equals negative 4. Here we'll add 7 to both sides, so x equals 7. And lastly, we'll add 17 to both sides, and so x equals 17. Bam, bam, bam. Number 48. And that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you solve the equation when it's already been given to you in factored form and it's set equal to 0. You just take each of the factors and individually set them to 0 and solve for the variable. All right, let's take a look at the next set of questions where we are going to have to actually factor the equation and then set each factor independently to 0. All right, we'll see you there.